There are two things that any salesperson needs to do. You need to say the right things to get the person that you're talking to buy from you. And you need to present your material in a way that blows people away. It's such a simple concept. Why then is everyone struggling?
Most organizations, when they generate information about themselves, do it in an egotistical, product-centric way. Like, for example, technology businesses are notorious for this. They talk about their flexible, scalable solutions for improving business process, which is a bunch of gobbledygook that nobody cares about. The best way to reach people is to understand what their problems are. If you can understand what motivates a person to be interested in your product or service and what their problems are, number one, you can create a better product and service, but you can also then approach it from the perspective where you're not just rattling off what's great about what you do. You know, we call it the old feeds and speeds approach.
Here at Your Business Channel, we regularly interview the world's top experts about sales. And while they all use different words and approaches, there is a consistency in what they tell us about the basics of getting people excited about what you sell. First, you need to understand what your customers want.
You're not learning from your customer and you're doing all the talking. You've got to sit back and you've got to be able to have those well-prepared, open-ended questions, be able to understand that individual situation well enough that you'll know whether your product can meet a need or not.
The world is full of people who are frustrated because they can't get their message across to other people and other people do what they want them to. But the great news is there's actually only two things you need to master to get anybody to do what you want. Firstly, you need to know how they're judged, and secondly, you need to be able to amend what you're going to say to hit your answer to number one.
There's so much more value, and the customer will be so much more engaged if you stop talking about your product and start talking about their life and what's wrong with it. How can you be of value to them? What are their dreams, and how does your product or service fit into their dreams?
Once you've understood what your customers want, you need to convince them that you can meet their needs. And you also need to prove that what you're offering represents great value.
Whenever you speak to customers, there's all sorts of things that you could say to close the sale. You could talk about your product range, your size, your history or whatever, but actually none of these things really are ultimately interesting to a customer. Customers are only interested in, number one, can you help them in the area they want to be helped? And number two, can you definitely do it? In other words, what are the proofs that prove you can do it better than somebody else?
Just because a customer has a problem or a prospect has a problem doesn't mean they're going to fix it. We tend to rush to the price, or we rush to the justification of the price. So let me ask you this. If you have a customer that's got a problem, and that problem is costing them $5 million a year to have, and they tell you that, and they show you, and they prove it to you, and your solution is $1 million, and they believe it can work, then there is no hang-up on price.
To help you, we've created a Sales Monster, a tool that helps any salesperson to produce a powerful presentation from scratch in as little as 45 minutes. I'm sure you can see how this will work to help you get your sales. This is like having dozens of the world's top sales experts helping you with your presentation. So why not get started right now?